Your Excellency, Mr. Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Ministers, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to today's ceremony where 8 documents will be exchanged. The first is the protocol for consultations between the 2 foreign ministries for the period 2019-2023. This will be exchanged by His Excellency Sergei Lavrov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, and by Srimati Sushma Swaraj, External Affairs Minister of India. Second, Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Economic Development of the Russian Federation and the National Institution for Transforming India, Niti Aayog, to be exchanged by His Excellency Mr. Maxim Oshitkin, Minister of the Economic Development of Russia, and Dr. Rajiv Kumar, VC, Niti Aayog. Number 3, MOU between ISRO and the Federal Space Agency of Russia on joint activities in the field of human space flight program, to be exchanged by Mr. Dmitry Rogozin, Director of Roscosmos, and Foreign Secretary of India, Shri Vijay Gokhale. Fourth, Memorandum of Cooperation between the Indian and Russian Railways, to be exchanged by Mr. Oleg Belozerov, CEO, Chairman of Russian Railways, and Shri Vijay Gokhale, Foreign Secretary of India. Fifth, Action Plan for Prioritization and Implementation of Cooperation Area in the Nuclear Field, to be exchanged by Mr. Alexei Likachev, DG Rosatom, and Shri K.N. Vyas, Secretary, Department of Atomic Energy. Sixth, MOU between the Russian Ministry of Transport and Indian Railways in the development cooperation in the sector of transport education, to be exchanged by His Excellency Mr. Nikolai Kodashev, Ambassador of Russia, and the Ambassador of India to Russia, Shri D.B. Venkatesh Verma. Seventh, MOU between the National Small Industries Corporation of India and the Russian Small and Medium Business Corporation on cooperation in the field of micro, small and medium enterprises, to be exchanged by Mr. Alexander Bravman, DG Russian Small and Medium Business Corporation, and our Ambassador in Russia, Shri D.B. Venkatesh Verma. Eighth, Cooperation Agreement in the fertilizer sector between the Russian Direct Investment Fund, Force Agro, and Indian Potash Limited, to be exchanged on the Russian side by Mr. Kirill Dmitriev, DG Russian Direct Investment Fund, and Mr. Andrei Guriev, CEO Force Agro, and on the Indian side by our Ambassador to Russia, Shri D.B. Venkatesh Verma. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also pleased to report that following the summit negotiations, President Putin and Prime Minister Modi ji, both sides have adopted the joint statement, Russia-India, an enduring partnership in a changing world. Excellencies, this concludes the signing and exchange ceremony. I now request the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs to conduct the proceedings.
I welcome you all to this press event. To begin the proceedings, may I request the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to deliver his statement to the media.
Your Excellency, रूसी संघ के राष्ट्रपति और मेरे घनिष्ठ मित्र व्लादिमीरोविच पुतिन, दोनों देशों के सम्मानीय प्रतिनिधि, नमस्कार, दोबरी दिन। 19वें वार्षिक शिखर सम्मेलन के लिए भारत में राष्ट्रपति पुतिन तथा उनके डेलीगेशन का स्वागत करते हुए मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। हम एक ऐसे देश के राष्ट्रपति के रूप में आपका स्वागत कर रहे हैं जिसके साथ हमारे अद्वितीय संबंध है। इन संबंधों के लिए आपने अमूल्य व्यक्तिगत योगदान दिया है। राष्ट्रपति पुतिन द्वारा सोची में आयोजित अनौपचारिक शिखर सम्मेलन की स्मृतियां मेरे मन में ताजा है। उस खास मुलाकात से हम दोनों को खुलकर गहन चर्चा करने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ। राष्ट्रपति जी रूस के साथ अपने संबंधों को भारत सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देता है। तेजी से बदलते हुए इस विश्व में हमारे संबंध और अधिक प्रासंगिक हो गए हैं। 19 शिखर सम्मेलनों की निरंतर श्रृंखला से हमारी स्पेशल और प्रिविलेज स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को लगातार नई ऊर्जा और दिशा मिली है और वैश्विक मामलों पर हमारे सहयोग को नए मायने एवं मकसद भी मिले हैं। हमारे सहयोग को आपकी यात्रा से स्ट्रेटेजिक डायरेक्शन मिला है। आज हमने ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए हैं जो दीर्घकालिक दृष्टि से हमारे संबंधों को और अधिक ताकतवर बनाएंगे। ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट से लेकर नेचुरल और एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज तक, ट्रेड से लेकर इन्वेस्टमेंट तक, नाभिकीय ऊर्जा के शांतिपूर्ण सहयोग से लेकर सौर ऊर्जा तक, टेक्नोलॉजी से लेकर टाइगर कंजर्वेशन तक, आर्किटिक से लेकर फार ईस्ट तक और सागर से लेकर के अंतरिक्ष तक भारत और रूस के संबंधों का और भी विशाल विस्तार होगा। यह विस्तार हमारे सहयोग को अतीत के कुछ गिने चुने दायरों के उस पार ले जाएगा। साथ ही हमारे संबंधों के महत्वपूर्ण आधार स्तंभ और मजबूत होंगे। भारत की विकास यात्रा में रूस हमेशा हमारे साथ रहा है। हमारा अंतरिक्ष में अगला लक्ष्य भारत के गगनयान में भारतीय अंतरिक्ष यात्री को भेजना है। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि आपने इस मिशन में रूस के पूरे सहयोग का आश्वासन दिया है। युवाओं में हमारे देशों के भविष्य का कायाकल्प करने की क्षमता है। मुझे इस बात की खुशी है कि भारत एवं रूस की प्रतिभा संपन्न बच्चे सम्मिलित रूप से अपने इनोवेटिव आइडियाज का प्रदर्शन आज दोपहर के बाद करेंगे। ये आइडियाज उन्होंने मिलजुल कर विकसित किए हैं। हम भारत के फ्लैगशिप कार्यक्रमों में और बिजनेस के व्यापक अवसरों में रूस की भागीदारी का स्वागत करते हैं। मुझे इस बात की भी खुशी है कि अब से कुछ समय बाद हम इंडिया रूसिया बिजनेस समिट में भी भाग लेंगे। इसमें दोनों देशों से करीब 200 प्रमुख आर्थिक उद्यमी भाग ले रहे हैं। भारत एवं रूस पारंपरिक हित के सभी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मामलों में घनिष्ठता से सहयोग करते रहे हैं। प्रेसिडेंट पुतिन तथा मैंने इन पर भी विस्तार से चर्चा की है। भारत और रूस तेजी से बदलते हुए विश्व में मल्टीपोलैरिटी और मल्टीलेटरलिज्म को सुदृढ़ करने पर एकमत है। आतंकवाद के विरुद्ध संघर्ष, अफगानिस्तान तथा इंडो पैसिफिक के घटनाक्रम, जलवायु परिवर्तन, एससीओ, ब्रिक्स जैसे क्षेत्रीय संगठनों एवं G20 तथा आसियान जैसे बहुपक्षीय संगठनों में सहयोग करने में हमारे दोनों देशों के साझा हित रहे हैं। हम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थानों में अपने लाभप्रद सहयोग और समन्वय को जारी रखने पर सहमत हुए हैं। मैं प्रेसिडेंट पुतिन द्वारा रूस के सुदूर पूर्व के विकास के लिए उठाए गए कदमों से बहुत प्रभावित हुआ हूं। भारत इस क्षेत्र में सहयोग के लिए तत्पर है। आज लिए गए निर्णयों से हमारे सहयोग में और वृद्धि होगी तथा चुनौतियों भरे विश्व में शांति और स्थिरता की बहाली में योगदान मिलेगा। भाई और बहनों, भारत और रूस के संबंधों की शक्ति का स्रोत सामान्य जन में एक दूसरे के प्रति सद्भाव और मैत्री है। हमने आज ऐसे कई प्रयासों पर विचार किया है जिनसे पीपल टू पीपल संबंध और मजबूत हो और दोनों देशों के लोगों की, विशेषतः युवाओं की एक दूसरे के बारे में जानकारी और आपसी समझ और बढ़े। इससे भारत रूस के संबंधों के भविष्य की एक नई नींव का निर्माण होगा। फ्रेंड्स, मैं विश्वासपूर्वक कह सकता हूं कि भारत रूस ये मैत्री अपने आप में अनूठी है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इस विशिष्ट रिश्ते के लिए प्रेसिडेंट पुतिन की प्रतिबद्धता से इन संबंधों को और भी ऊर्जा मिलेगी और हमारे बीच प्रगाढ़ विश्वास एवं मैत्री और सुदृढ़ होगी और हमारी स्पेशल एंड प्रिविलेज स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को नई बुलंदियां प्राप्त होगी। आप सबका हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू। स्पासिबा।
Thank you, sir. Now it is my pleasure to invite the President of the Russian Federation, His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Putin, to deliver his statement to the media.
Президент Российской Федерации Владимир Владимирович Путин. Dear friend, Your Excellency Mr. Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it is always our great pleasure to come to India because we know that here we will find an environment of sincere friendship, business-like communication and cooperation. Our nations and states have for a long time been connected through a strong relationship of friendship, mutual respect and sympathy. For this sign of friendship, for giving us this opportunity to talk in this very close format and to discuss the most important and relevant topics on the agenda, on the global agenda, and discuss the fundamental issues of Russian-Indian cooperation and to outline new horizons. And today, first in the restricted format and then with participation of delegations, we discussed the key areas of our cooperation. We've had a very meaningful discussion on the whole range of issues of bilateral cooperation. We have discussed in details relevant topics of international and regional agenda. We have adopted a joint statement which reflects almost all aspects of Russian-Indian cooperation. We have outlined large-scale plans for a long-term prospect. A solid package of interagency and cooperate documents we have just signed today has been prepared for the visit, and its goal is to further develop and deepen our bilateral ties in various areas. It is true that we indeed discussed during these negotiations our trade and investment cooperation, and broadening this kind of cooperation is of utmost importance for me and for Mr. Prime Minister. we have set a goal of increasing the goods turnover up to 30 billion US dollars by 2025 and the amount of mutual investments up to 15 billion US dollars. And in this context, we were pleased to note that last year mutual trade grew by 21%, exceeding 9 billion US dollars. And over the 7 months of this year, it has added another 20%. If we proceed moving at this pace, we will be able to reach our goal even before the set framework. Business circles of Russia and India maintain close contacts. They implement large joint investment projects. Representative Indian delegations took part in St. Petersburg Economic Forum and in the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. And it is my great pleasure to once again invite Mr. Prime Minister to participate in the next Vladivostok Forum as the main guest at the Vladivostok Economic Forum in September 2019. Russian-Indian Business Forum is taking place in New Delhi these days, and Mr. Prime Minister and I will deliver a statement to its participants, and we will support useful initiatives to develop cooperation in key areas of economy and finance. Deepening our cooperation in energy sector is one of the topics that we have paid a lot of attention to together with Mr. Prime Minister. We gave a positive assessment of implementation of interagency program of cooperation in the strategic area. Russia is a reliable supplier of hydrocarbons to India. We are successfully implementing long-term contracts through Rosneft and Gazprom to ensure to supply the Indian economy with energy commodities. India imports Russia's liquefied natural gas. We're supplying this gas from Sakhalin-1 field in which Indian partners own 20%. In June, the first batch of LNG was sent to the Indian market within the framework of the contract between Gazprom and Gas Authority of India Limited. We also welcome interest of energy companies from India to expand their businesses in Russia. We're ready to consider the possibility of cooperating within the such programs as Far Eastern LNG, Arctic LNG2, and also other projects to exploit natural resources of Siberia, Yamal, and continental shelf of the Russian Federation. We have discussed in details the flagship project in the peaceful use of nuclear energy, Kudankulam nuclear power plant. The first 2 units of this nuclear power plant are gaining their full capacity. The 3rd and 4th units are being constructed. The 5th and 6th units are to be constructed next. According to the agreements that we possess, based on Russian high-tech technologies, we plan to build 12 power units in the next 20 years in India. We have touched upon strengthening our cooperation in industry and investment. We talked in particular about machine building, metallurgy, agriculture, medicine, pharmaceuticals, and biochemical technologies. We believe there is a good prospect for our joint cooperation in large infrastructure projects. In particular, Russian Railways company is ready to participate in the projects to build modern railroads in India. We have agreed that Russia will assist Indian partners in exploring outer space. Roscosmos Agency plans to participate in preparing Indian national program to launch the manned spacecraft. And of course, we have discussed in detail the prospects of our military and technical cooperation. For decades, Russia and India have been cooperating successfully in this area. We enjoy a truly close and mutually beneficial relationship, which is an inalienable part of the Russian-Indian strategic partnership. Our cooperation goes beyond supplies of Russian weapons. Our countries produce and develop jointly modern military products. We maintain regular contacts between ministries of defense and general staff of our countries. We improve our combat readiness. In August, Indian units participated for the first time in anti-terror exercises called Peace Mission 2018 that took place in Russia. India's servicemen are active participants of Army International Games in tank biathlon and in competitions of Alpine Special Forces. We have of course, paid a lot of our attention during our talks to humanitarian component of our relationship. Russia and India have always demonstrated interest in each other's culture and spiritual legacy. This is confirmed by the huge success of the Festival of India in Russia, which will last until March 2019 in 22 cities of Russia. India will host Festival of Russian Culture. I'm convinced all these events will bring the peoples of our countries even closer. There are almost 10,000 Indian students in Russia, and about 100 scholarships are provided to the citizens of India annually. India is a popular direction for Russian tourists. In 2017, about 220,000 Russians visited India. We received 94,000 Indians in Russia. When discussing international agenda, we have confirmed that Russia and India adhere to similar or concurring positions on the key global issues. Bearing this in mind, we have agreed to step up our coordination and cooperation at multilateral platforms such as the UN, BRICS, SCO and G20. We will also cooperate closely to strengthen security and cooperation in Asia. We will combat such challenges and threats as international terrorism, drug trafficking and transborder crime. We have also touched upon restoration of economy and stable political development of Afghanistan. We have exchanged views on the situation in the Middle East. I have informed Mr. Prime Minister about the situation in Syria. We have also discussed the situation that came as a result of unilateral actions of the US to withdraw from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action on Iran's nuclear deal. And in conclusion, I would like to thank Mr. Prime Minister and all of our Indian friends and colleagues for these very meaningful and constructive negotiations. I'm convinced that their results will help further step up strategic partnership between Russia and India and strengthen friendship between our countries and nations. As I have already said, Prime Minister and I will have a meeting with the representative of business circles as well as with talented Indian children and their peers from the Russian Educational Center named Sirius, who came upon Mr. Modi's invitation to India. I will also meet with Mr. President of the Republic of India. Mr. Prime Minister has put forward a number of humanitarian initiatives, such as to renew the publishing of Russian and Indian books, and also cooperate in some other areas in humanitarian field. I believe it is very important. We will support these initiatives because we believe that cooperation in this field and people-to-people contacts will definitely help consolidate the friendship between the peoples of India and the Russian Federation. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. This concludes the press event. Thank you all for joining.